We have Dave today, and Dave is a fisherman, as you can see. Hi Dave, thanks for talking to us. What are you doing today?
Hello, we're here selling the fish, the local fresh fish today.
Lovely. What's your best catch today that we can buy?
Some beautiful local cod, nice and thick, got some plaice, different bits and bobs.
Lovely. And how long have you been a fisherman for?
30 years.
30 years, wow. And is it a family thing?
No.
It was just something you decided to do?
Yeah.
Excellent. And what's the best thing about fishing?
It's a way of life, really. Open air, sea, your own boss.
Lovely.
It's a tough life, but...
Yeah. What's the worst thing about fishing?
Probably the cold weather.
Yeah, I could get that.
Unsociable hours, but we love it.
Lovely. Thank you very much for talking to us. I'm just going to have a little film around here. Is that your boat out there?
These are the small beach boats, yeah.
And what's the most fish you catch around Worthing?
It will vary with seasons.
Yeah.
Like I say, at the moment it's mainly cod and a few
Yeah.
flatfish and that. As we go into the spring, the variety really grows into gurnards and plaice and lemon sole, dover sole, so.
Lovely, thank you very much. Right, I'm going to go and buy myself some fish. Good morning, everybody. Hope you've all had a good week. Now, you might be wondering why we started off today's session with Dave the Fisherman. Well, there is a reason for that. We finished looking at our story of Daniel, and now we're going to think about different people that met Jesus and how it affected their lives and changed their lives, if it did indeed. And the first person we're going to think about this morning is Simon Peter. Now, you may have heard of him because he was one of Jesus's special friends who did his ministry with him, disciples we call them. Now, Dave the Fisherman, if you listen to what he said, fishing, he actually uses the words, was a way of life, not just a job for him. So the whole of his life was dictated to by his fishing. When he got up, the different jobs that he did, everything. And he loves doing it, and he's been doing it for 30 years. Well, in today's Bible story, Simon Peter was a fisherman, and I expect that probably his father was a fisherman before him. Certainly his brother Andrew was a fisherman too, and fishing would have been his way of life. Now, when he meets Jesus, and if you click onto the story afterwards, it will tell you how Simon Peter met Jesus and how he decided to follow him. You will see that he left everything. So fishing, that had been his way of life, all of his life, when he met Jesus, he just dropped it and left it all to follow Jesus. So I wonder what it was about Jesus that made him do that. Have a think about that. To suddenly stop the whole way of life that you've had, all that you've known, and drop it all just to follow Jesus. Have a think about that. That's massive, isn't it? And Jesus told Simon Peter that he had a new job for him. Instead of being a fisherman, he wanted him to be a fisher of men, which is it does sound a bit of a weird thing to say, doesn't it? But Jesus was kind of showing Peter, and he took him out on a boat. And if you carry on listening to the story on today's video link, you'll see that he shows him that instead of catching fish, Simon Peter is going to be with Jesus, and he's going to help Jesus to catch men. Now, it doesn't actually mean going around with a big fishing net and throwing it over men, because that would be really silly. What it means is that Simon Peter was going to be Jesus' special friend and travel around with him and tell other people the good news about Jesus so that they could follow him too. And that's something, if we decide to follow Jesus, that we need to do as well. We need to share the love of Jesus with other people too, and that's really important. So Jesus had a massive effect on Simon Peter's life. And that's because Jesus is fully man and fully God, which is an amazing brain exploding thing to think about, but he really is. And Simon Peter just left everything to follow him. So that's what I want you to think about today. And I'm going to say a prayer in a minute. And if you'd like to join in with that prayer, you can join in with it. If not, just listen quietly, because you'll have to make a decision as to whether you want to follow Jesus. And that's one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make, because Jesus gives us a choice. He doesn't make us follow him. We have to decide whether we want to follow him. And I decided I wanted to follow Jesus when I was 14. And ever since then, even though different things have happened in my life, Jesus has been with me all the time. And that's made a massive difference to my life. And I know that whatever I do and whatever I'm going to make mistakes sometimes and do things wrong, that Jesus forgives me and I can be with him forever. So I'm going to say a prayer now, and then I'm going to have a look at some of your pancakes that you made last week. So let's be quiet for a moment. Dear Jesus, I would like to follow you. I'm sorry for all the things that I've done wrong, and thank you that you forgive me and you can change me. Thank you for the story we have in the Bible of how Simon Peter left everything to follow you, and we want to do that too. Please help us. Amen. Now, if you said that prayer, maybe tell a grown-up. Now, we had a pancake competition, didn't we? Oh, before I tell you about pancakes, just to let you know, there's a couple of craft attachments on your parents' email or your carer's email, and that is to make a follow me flip-flop. Try and say that really fast. Follow me flip-flop, follow me flip-flop. It's quite tricky. And you just need pipe cleaners that and some cardboard, and all the you can download the email and it will give you a shape to cut out. Or you could make some of Jesus's disciples, his special friends, in a bit of an egg box craft. So you can have a look at that too. Right, pancakes. Lots of you sent in pictures of your great pancakes. So the first one I'm going to show you, hopefully you'll be able to see this, is from Theo and Lily. And there's them eating their pancakes. If you can see them there, it looks yummy. They look as if they've got banana and sugar and chocolate on there. So they've got lovely treat pancakes. The next one is, I think this is a pancake face of Caris. And I think Esri made that. So there you go. You can see it looks amazing. And this one's another pancake face, and this is Esri pancake face made by Caris. There we go. And this, William made this pancake face. I don't think it's anyone in particular, it's just a pancake face, which is looking good. And somebody else sent in their pancake, which looks a nice healthy pancake. It's got strawberries and blueberries, it looks like, and some lemon as well. That looks yummy. Now, I got carried away by the pancake face thing, and I made some faces. This is Anita's face I made out of pancake. And this is William's face I made out of a pancake too. We have some more entries here. This is from the Jones family. There's that one there, it's got banana and chocolate spread on. And little white chocolate stars as well, which looks yummy. And we've also got this one as well. That also looks delicious. They've even got a bit of lemon stuck on the end there as well as everything else, and squirty cream. And this one too that looks very nice. I'm not sure whether that's jam in the middle or whether that's strawberry sauce, but well done, Jones family. They look delicious. Now, Caris and Esri's dad, Matt, also got carried away with the pancake face making thing, and he's made a pancake face of me. What do you think? And he also made one of our senior minister, Matt. So here is Matt the pancake, which I think is also really impressive. So, Matt, unfortunately, you're a grown-up, so you can't enter in our competition, so because you're too old, so you can't win. But I think the winning pancake is going to be, I think it's going to be this one. And this is the pancake face of Caris by Esri. So well done, Esri. A prize will be coming on down to you. Have a good week, everyone. Bye. Peter the Fisherman by Andrew McDonough. Andrew can catch fish. James and John know a thing or two about fishing. But Peter is the fisherman. Have you seen the latest issue of Fishing magazine? Yes, that's Peter on the cover again, just like he was last month and the month before that and the month before that. If you go fishing with Peter, you're always in for a big catch. But one night, the unthinkable happened. Peter headed out to sea. He threw his nets into the deep. And waited, and waited, and waited. There were no nibbles, not a nudge of the nets, not a single sardine, no fish, not even one. The next morning, Peter slowly rowed back to shore. "Look, everyone," yelled the boy. "There's Peter, the world's greatest fisherman." "Hey, Pete," said the little old lady. "Toss me a whopper for breakfast." "Smile for the camera," said the man from the Fishing magazine. Peter said nothing and trudged off to wash the nets. Jesus. Now Jesus can teach. He knows a thing or two about God. Whenever Jesus begins to speak, you're in for a big crowd. Jesus, the teacher man. The crowd grew and grew until there was hardly any room on the shore. So Jesus hopped onto Peter's boat and kept on teaching. When Jesus had finished, he said, "Hey, Pete, let's go fishing." Peter groaned, "Oh, I'll take you out if you want, but we fished all night and we didn't catch a thing." Out to sea headed Jesus and Peter. Into the deep they threw the nets and fish, hundreds of fish, stretched the nets until they almost broke. Thousands of fish swamped the boats and they almost sank. Peter was amazed, Andrew was astonished, James was awestruck, and John couldn't believe his eyes. This Jesus certainly knew a thing or two or three even about fishing. "Please go, Lord," said Peter. "I'm not good enough to be in the same boat as you." "Don't be scared," said Jesus. "You're joining my crew. From now on, you'll be amazed at the sort of fishing we're going to get up to." So James and John dragged the boats ashore. Andrew tossed the nets aside. Then together with Peter the fisherman, they left everything and they followed Jesus.